No sooner was the loss of the Space Shuttle Columbia confirmed than plans were announced for an independent investigation. We have two reports about the inquiry and the shuttle mission that had been going so smoothly. In a moment, Russ Mitchell, but we begin by returning once again to Bob Orr in Washington.
Shuttle Columbia, with 7 astronauts aboard, was streaking across the blue Texas skies just 16 minutes from home when it blew apart. In a horrifying echo of the Challenger catastrophe 17 years earlier, flaming debris fell to Earth along a 300-mile-long trail of destruction from Fort Worth to western Louisiana. The pictures led NASA Associate Administrator Bill Reedy to a grim conclusion.
Sadly, I think from the video that's available, it does not appear that there were any survivors.
Officials say Columbia suffered a catastrophic structural breakup that may have begun 7 minutes before the spacecraft disintegrated. Ron Dittemore is NASA's shuttle program manager.
The first indications were of the loss of sensors, temperature sensors, in the hydraulic systems on the left wing.
Multiple failures followed. Mission Control lost tire pressure indications, a problem shuttle commanders also noted in their final radio transmission.
Columbia, Houston, we see your tire pressure messages and we did not copy your last.
Roger.
Commander Rick Husband's transmission was abruptly cut off. 40 miles above the Earth, traveling at 18 times the speed of sound, Columbia broke into pieces. Mission Control lost all contact, and Chief Flight Director Milt Heflin lost all hope.
We lost the data, and that's when we clearly begin to know that we had a bad day.
Well, very happy with what they're
Columbia's mission had been a success, 16 days filled with scientific experiments. The NASA investigators now want to find out if the mission's tragic ending actually began with the shuttle's launch. When Columbia lifted off the pad January 16th, a piece of foam used to insulate the external fuel tank broke off and struck the leading edge of the left wing. It caused no obvious damage to the wing or the heat tunnels to protect the shuttle during re-entry. But now there are preliminary indications the shuttle's breakup may have begun on that same left side. That's where NASA lost the sensors and where Mission Control noted excessive structural heating. And video seems to show a large piece of the shuttle, possibly a wing, ripping off the spacecraft just before the whole orbiter came apart. Ed Crowley is an aeronautical engineer at MIT.
Right at the top of the list will be a concern about the thermal protection system, the tiles which insulate the spacecraft from the heat of reentry.
Columbia, Houston, comm check.
Investigators now will zero in on the data received from Columbia just before it was lost to reconstruct the fatal sequence of failures. But they also need physical evidence from the wreckage to precisely pin down the cause.
Brad, space tab status checks are complete. Everything looks good in the space tab.
I copy, Willie. Thanks for the status checks.
This is Russ Mitchell. It was to be a mission of scientific exploration. Its focus, finding new ways to sustain life in space and to improve life here on Earth.
You can grow nice three-dimensional tumors, very much like the tumors that would grow inside your body.
It was not the sort of giant leap that makes headlines, but it was the sort of small step crucial to mankind's future in space.
We have booster ignition and liftoff of Space Shuttle Columbia with a multitude of national and international space research experiments.
The launch on the morning of January 16th attracted attention because of concerns of a possible terrorist attack. Among the crew of 7 was the first Israeli in space, Colonel Ilan Ramon. Ramon had spent 4 years training as part of a team that reflected the diversity of America, including an African American. Also, 2 women, one of them born in India. They came from points east, west, north, and south.
That's affirmative, and it is...
The astronauts worked 24 hours a day in 2 alternating shifts, conducting experiments ranging from cancer cell development and weightlessness to the potential of plants grown commercially in space. Along the way, taking time out to work out.
And of course, we're getting ready to go home, so we're doing exercise and even doing push-ups in order to be ready to feel good when we get back to Earth.
This is Mission Control Houston. You're looking at a live view of the Earth from...
As the crew began its descent yesterday morning, NASA called conditions at Cape Canaveral perfect. A great day to land. As time went on, those same officials would call the day a very bad one. The journey of 7 explorers has ended in the heavens, their mission and lives cut short by what remains a mystery.
Next, Martha Teichner with a look back at America's manned space program.